So today we're into the world of colour for this guy that I've been drawing in Greyscale for the last couple of hours, and I zoomed into him a bit, so I can take him down to his normal size for colour now, because we don't need to worry about details, we need to worry about overall look and feel. So this is what he used to look at like when I merge his arm in. This is what he used to look like when I first blocked him out. Humble beginnings, and over time he grew, he twisted into this guy, and now I'll actually take a duplicate of that and just save that layer in case I want to resize him at any other point, and we can put him back where he belongs, at the front. So this guy's a Undead Wizard. There's many, we don't need that reference right now. There's many adventurers that have been captured by the stump, by the roots of the stump, and have been buried in the swamp. And whenever anyone tries to get to the stump, because the stump has a corrupted soul jar in it that's given it life, it raises these adventurers that has killed over many years. Everything from dwarfish axemen to giant crocodiles to all sorts of things. Goblins, archers, other stuff. And this guy, a wizard who still can fire cantrips. See, the root system actually comes up here through his rib cage, and I'm thinking of having little roots here connected to his arms and maybe the back of his head, and that's what still animates him and drives him. And he still casts spells. There's going to be a spell forming here that does this light source, which is why I put a big arrow there. Yeah, probably a fire bolt or something like that, casting orange light on him. The whole swamp scene is going to be quite a green, foggy vibe. I'll probably push it almost, well, anyway, yeah, let's put a green behind him to give us an idea of what the background's going to be as I start to colour him. Now you might be thinking, oh, colouring's going to be easy, Matt. You've got all the values sorted there. You've done the grayscale, you've done the work. Now you just have to paint colour over the top. And yeah, I wish that was the case. I wish I could agree with you, but I can't. Because I'm going to be doing lots of subtle colours throughout. I'll be doing colours on the edges where the light and shadow hit. I'll be doing mottled colours throughout his skull, because he'll be a little bit mossy with the skull coming through. So there's still quite a bit of work to do that the grayscale has not done for me, no matter how often I ask. So I've got to now find where that arrow is, because it's time for it to go. Now, if you were a good artist, you would have named your layers and know exactly where it is. And look, I've made it on the same layer as the ground layer there. Rookie mistake. Goodbye, arrow. Okay, so start with colour. Go bold. Don't even overthink it. The overall colour of them is probably going to be green to tie in with the atmosphere of the swamp. So I'm just going to do that. Voila! And it'll probably be quite nice. I'll do colour here, but even then I don't use colour as much. Sometimes overlay, we'll see, overlay actually looks maybe better there. Or you could do soft light, I do use colour dodge a lot too. Oh look, he looks like a ghost if you do linear dodge, but he's not a ghost. Actually, soft light looks... Oh, that's hard light. Hard light looks good. Maybe... linear light. I've got so many options. Okay, I am going... I quite like the hard light. Going hard light, folks. But I'll knock it back a little bit, because that's a big commitment. And now I'm going to paint in a bit of bone, which without colour picking my reference, I'm going to say looks a little like this. Oh, and I like to select it so I don't have to do as much work. What are we on? 33. Just go full at the moment. Colour? Yeah. Some people do all of this as masks, so they can jump around between stuff, but it gets a bit separated at that point. I like to blend it in, like have stuff bleeding into each other, and I don't want to have to jump around in masks. And you can see already the values aren't great on my hands there, but we'll see what the light source is doing when he casts a spell. This is first pass. First pass, you can just be bold, especially if you keep it in layers. Don't flatten it down just yet. I'm going to do a root colour there, and you'll notice that because I had zoomed in, my roots sort of stop there. So I'll just blend that in just a little bit. Yeah, just so it hasn't got that hard edge where I've been working. And yeah, I'll do a bit here to push this all back into the fog as well, into the ground and fog. That comes later. So a bit of green, I think, for the roots. I might go overlay. Just going to roll the dice on overlay there. That's what makes colouring so exciting. Don't worry about this back of the roots. That's going to get some work. Okay. What colour shall I make as robes? Maybe faded red, just to give a splash there. Splash of colour. And I might desaturate that quite a bit, but for now, we'll get it on. Just colour. So you can see here that just doing values has not saved the picture by me just being able to slap colours on. You still have to make a lot of decisions and still do a lot of integration, especially when the surrounding element, I'm going to make that red. I'm reluctant to. I want that to push back. That'll be a shadowy colour at some point, but we'll give it a base of red for now. just make his collar red for now, but that might change. I'll probably give a little trim. Oh, that's right, I was going to give him glowing red eyes at some point. Okay. It's very strong. Let's knock it back. Bit of desaturation. And then even a bit of opacity just to... because I'll bring in the stronger colours later. Right now you just want it to feel like you've got some guidance. So pushing stuff back. What was that? That was his bone colour. Again, I'm wondering if colour's the right way to go. Look what hard light does. It gives it that green. I actually really like that greeny brown for the skull. Push it back a little though. What was this one I did? What were you? Oh, you were the base green. What if I push you back? That plays with its lightness. Well, I actually like to knock back the highlights and the shadows a bit, because then I can paint in light. Okay. So from there I might even take a risk and flatten that down already. That's what I'm going to work with as my base. And yeah, this part's bugging me now, so we've got to push it back. We've got to blend it into the swamp as a root system. Using my smudge tool. If you go through my other videos, you'll see I basically use the smudge tool for everything. And then what I'm going to do is almost grab this colour here, just to push this root system back. Go soft brush, so it's no hard edges here. And let's knock this back. And give it a bit of that. And I'll still what I do normal. I'll still see what a burn tool does to that colour as I give it some edging there. Okay. I'm going to flatten that down, work in one layer. Pretty bold. And then I might even give a little bits of highlights here. Maybe this is going to make it feel wet. Don't know. We can do lots after, play with that. This down here is too dark, of course. So yeah, I probably want to just grab a lot of this, go over the top of it. There we go. Here we go. Now that's almost feeling like a root already. You can see the shapes and the forms, which I don't think I concentrated too much on before. It kind of has happened naturally. which is good. Okay, so there, very good start, the base colour. Now what I want to do is start to think maybe about taking these highlights from here and just going kind of hard on the fingers, just to pick up the same light source they're picking up. Maybe a touch there. Nice. And we'll bring it here too. Nice. And now I'll show you the colour dodge trick. If you don't know it, it's one of the best ways to, well, I think, to make a believable light pattern hitting a player. So say if we've got a little firebolt forming here, we can actually smudge tool to the rescue, just play with these lines a bit. Okay, cantrip is forming here. Cantrip. Let's give a bit of dodge in the middle. Maybe a touch of burn on the outside. Oops. Undock that so it disappears. What if I dock it? Magic. Okay, so we've got the start of a light source here. Let's go behind it. We'll start our first colour dodge. The only effective colour dodge I ever found was about there. Darkish brown. You want it dark, otherwise light washes it off. Colour dodge. Okay, it's adequate there. We might have to go a bit darker, but I'm also going to play with my, just to break up that light. It's very green. Okay, let's play with the colour balance. See if we can get more of that red in it. There we go. And we can maybe knock it back just a little. It's a good start. Now what is this colour going to do? Oh, thank you, beige red. I can take it up to about here. Does that help? Otherwise I might have to eventually go to microphone. I'll try to talk louder too, I was mumbling a bit. Right. So I've got this color dodge. I'm going to take it down another notch, darker brown. I'm going to select him. I'm going to work on another layer, and now we should be able to just paint in some light here. Paint in some light, and then when I select color dodge, and maybe sort of knock back some of it. Let's see if that's made a difference. Cheers, yeah, I'll work on that, yeah. I didn't actually realise anyone was listening. So yeah, I'll talk up now that there's people here. Cool, so you can see this light's hitting him. What I like to do as well is maybe even do another color dodge just to hit the edges and hopefully create this redness on the edge. I'm not getting the redness I want yet, but I don't know if you've seen a TV series like Arcane. They do this a lot, and it's working here where it is. Yeah, where the redness hits where the light and shadow meet. They put a red line just to mark that point. And I always think it's a really nice technique, just to help separate the light and shadow. It's like this limbo in between the two. So yeah, I know a lot of people have wonder about color dodge because they put it in and it really blows things out. And my advice is to get into the dark browns right down here, and it gives you a lot more control of them. And even here I might, because I'm not getting that red. Yes, I've been working on this picture. It's a something I'm doing for a role-playing game that I'm working on. And this one is one of the challenges found in the swamp. It's called the Swamp of Souls. There's this old stump that's been capturing adventurers with its roots, dragging them into the swamp, and now when anyone tries to get near the stump, which has like a soul jar trapped in it that's given it life, it raises up all these dead adventurers, crocodiles, life of the swamp through its root system to defend itself. And so yeah, I've been talking quite a few episodes, maybe this is my fourth where I'm finally up to colour, just about how I go about it. Yeah. And then what I've been doing is posting it on my YouTube channel afterwards, where I talk more about the world building and stuff. But I thought I'd do art process on here and see how it goes. Are you a artist yourself, Beige Red? And I really want the colour dodge to be strong around the hands, because that's where the light source is going to be. So I might even do another layer colour dodge there. Okay, and now that I've got some colour on his light side here, I might even go a little red on the edges with actual colour. Let's see if I can push that a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. It's too much, but I'll knock it back with some opacity. Now I want to get some blues into the shadow. So the shadow area is going to be affected by the green mist of the swamp. So there's going to be a lot of green in the shadow area, which I've already got. But blues also are nice to get in there as well, just to break up the monotony of green. So I'll jump back here. Play with a bit. Always go heavy-handed, and then you can oh, cool. Yeah, I'll just rave on and yeah, happy to have you listen. So the idea with this whole swamp is it's a dark, corrupted place, and the mystery behind the adventure is what's corrupting it at its source, and there is like a evil tribe of lizard men involved, and what they do is they capture slaves, they capture creatures in the swamp, take them to the mysterious center of the swamp, where who knows what's going on there, but eventually then they come out with these corrupted soul jars full of powerful, tortured souls driven mad, and they hang them around the swamp to spread the corruption. But the original inhabitants of the swamp, there's a race of heron folk who want the swamp brought back to balance. They pay a very good price for people to bring these soul jars to them, and then they try almost a rehab center for soul jars where they meditate and try bring peace to these tortured souls so the souls can eventually pass on. And so there's this battle, but it's almost become like a gold rush for adventurers who know these heron folk monks pay very well. Heron folk monks are quite rich because they make a legendary rice wine that is well sought after and paid a lot for. So they use these profits to pay adventurers for soul jars, and it's become like this gold rush where everyone's trying to find these soul jars hung throughout the swamp. And figure out, well, they get to a point where they have to figure out, hey, do we kill this cash cow? We can keep letting these lizard men corrupt the swamp, and we'll just keep rescuing the soul jars, and these heron folk monks will pay quite well, even though over time the swamp keeps getting more and more corrupted and infected. Or will the adventurers at some point, especially the good ones, say, hey, we need to stop this. We need to go to the source and figure out what's happening. How are they creating these corrupted souls and torturing them and keeping them in soul jars, and who's ultimately behind it? And yeah, so there's a little moral dilemma, especially if the players are playing, say, roguish type characters. And you do deal with a lot of roguish type characters in the swamp. There's a sort of old mining sort of western town called Dusk, where all sorts of unscrupulous people gather to hide from the outside world, and now prospectors, they're called prospectors, the ones looking for soul jars, are looking to make a buck and hire adventurers to help them go into places to get soul jars, and this stump has a soul jar embedded in it that people will be trying to get their hands on. So yeah, you can not only be dealing with challenges like this, but also rival adventuring parties who maybe want the soul for different reasons. They might want it because it's an old friend of theirs who disappeared in the swamp many years ago. Yeah, so I'm trying to create maybe moral dilemmas. Do you just keep going for the cash? Like if you defeat whatever's in the center of the swamp, won't that cut the supply of money you've been earning by doing these adventures? And yeah, there's all sorts of challenges. There's giant creatures that have been infused with these tortured souls, like the soul jar's still in there, almost like a battery pack that runs these constructs made out of twisted wood and stone found in the swamp. So who's making these constructs? It's another mystery. And these constructs are starting to wander outside the swamp and affect normal towns, normal people. So maybe the adventurers have been sent in to investigate that. Yeah, it's been a world I've been working on for quite a while. If you're interested in seeing the world building behind it, my YouTube channel is also World Builder Matt. You can just find my videos there. They have art process, but also a lot of lore and world building. Okay, so yeah, those blues coming in are quite nice. There's nothing really to give that blue colour just yet. Don't know where it's coming from, but I like it. I can figure out I can put a few blues that, maybe even the water where it's bouncing, bounce lights coming off the swampy, murky water. There could be some blues there. Okay, now I want to tackle these shadowy areas of the sleeves. They're too samey to the other bit. So I might get some blues in there actually. Let's knock this back. Okay, and if I even start to darken the swamp background, it should help him pop more and make the swamp look a little more gloomy and murky, which is good. Yeah, thanks, Beige Red. That's what I'm hoping. I always like giving the characters a chance for decisions, how they want to play the game. So it comes down almost to the sort of characters they create, their backstories. But even at some point, you know, it's like dealing with pollution. At some point, you've got to stop it because it's coming into your world. So yeah, they might even get backed into a corner at some point and have to step up, even if they're a little roguish. Okay, what colour am I going to... I'll go overlay. go. Do you play role-playing games yourself, Page Red? Now these blues are too dark, but I can happily push them back. Actually, that might be alright. Let's see how they look without the ants crawling over them. Let's push it back there. And yeah, I might even put some of that blue bounce light at the base here. Knock that right back. Just a hint. Maybe that's even more like ground mist coming up. Okay, good, good, good. Let's play with the colour of the ground too, just to start grounding it in more with what he's dealing with. I might just, rather than paint a colour over here, I might just colour balance it and bring in, that way I can play with it a bit more. See if I get a little bit of blue in there. Green. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is get a bit of that mist behind him. So I might sort of grab this colour here and just bring it in a little bit here. And then I can push it back. And yeah, I'll start playing with this grass around here, which I'll use a smudge tool for. This guy, this shape here, sort of creates... Oh, am I drawing? I am drawing. I'm not smudging. Can start to create ground. I don't need to go crazy over here because it's all pushed back, so it can just be shapes in the mist. Okay, and there's a lot of white here, which I'm not sure how that happened. So I'll pull that in. Here we go. I'm going to want a little bit of shadow under here. Especially off this light source, we'll probably cast a nice shadow here. So it's hit him here, and it'll almost curve off here, I'd say. And then yeah, you put a bit of grass in that shadow as well. Carry on working on this little ridge line I've got going here. I want this dark on this side now, because there'll be shadow from the spell he's casting. And here we go. Just put in a few contour lines here. Okay, let's paint in that shadow. I think that'll ground it a bit. We'll go with the blues. Multiply. So I'll bring this in here. Is that right? Might even cut. Whoops. And what's the beauty of this brush here is I can fake that grass is growing over the shadow. So, and even the shadow is grass over here. Then push it way back because it's too dark. And he's starting to integrate. Where's that stump? We'll knock some of this back. We don't need that anymore. Nice, nice. Now, do I want to try something fancy to see if I can fake a reflection? I might see what it looks like. I'm just going to duplicate, edit, transform, flip vertical, take this down here, go behind him, knock it right back, so it's just a hint, and move that along there. Maybe it makes the ground feel a little wet. Okay, I'm gonna cut into this mist line. I might put a bit of colour, especially around that. So again, I'm going to try the colour dodge. And just so it looks like it's interacting with the mist. Here we go. And yeah, we can even play a little bit with it, because the mist has different density throughout it. So bits of it hit the light, bits of it are pushed back from the light. I might even push this here to keep it dark so it gets the good shape of his head. There. Okay, he's starting to take shape. Might put a few details on him now. Like, let's play with the root system and see if we can make it look like it's working, because I want it to feel like the roots are controlling him. So if he's like a puppet, these roots here can be sort of pushing out and maybe even snaking around. Snaking, controlling. From here we can have them almost playing like this. And so if you look close enough at them, you realize the root system itself is what's moving his arms, and it's gone all the way up here through his rib cage. That's all that's left of this guy. Maybe that looks alright. So I'll play a little bit with that. We will use the smudge tool just to give it a bit of shape. Maybe there can be thorns so it looks a little painful even. This is on top of some highlights. Let's move it up. So it's, here we go. It's over the top of stuff. It's snuck down there. We can have it come there. Maybe some thorns. Have that coming out of the robes, and that going back into the robes through a hole there. We've obviously got to do some highlights and shading, but this is starting to get somewhere. Just got to be careful that it's not too much going on. Which can always happen with these things. You just take it too far. But for now, should I have the root go through there? Yes. Whoops. See, I don't know if I've mentioned it enough, but the smudge tool, if you haven't worked with the smudge tool, it's just a better way of not having to erase and redraw things. You just put it down, and if you want to erase something, you can just cut through, and if you want to change your line, you can reshape it here rather than redrawing your line. Actually, I'm quite liking this vine setup. And then what I'll do is I'll use the dodge tool to capture where it's hitting the light. So we've got this light source up here. So obviously it's going to hit here and up here. This area is all light, so there might be some shadow cast from this as well. And yeah, even here you can give it some strong hints. Down here I reckon shadow. Over here probably, maybe a bit here. Down here, not much. Though I do like some little highlights every now and then. It's probably too much. No, that's good. And then we'll use the burn tool. Just got to be careful. I've said that before, the burn tool and the dodge tool can do horrible things to your colours. So just check first to make sure it's not destroying your colours. And I'm going to go back with the smudge tool here just to define the shapes. Good old smudge tool. And yeah, let's have that bit there, heavy in shadow. Maybe this comes out a bit. This is in shadow. Nice, nice. As I said, dodge tool, smudge tool here. You can start smudge tool in forms and detail. Start to work on these little areas. See, that's a nice little, oh, and I'll burn it here where it contacts the, yeah, but that's a nice little bit of vine there. I'm tempted just to give it a little bit more dodge. Too much. A little bit more, too much. Okay, we'll leave it. But we can smudge tool it into the robe. Okay, now we'll cast some shadows off it. So I've got all of that on a layer. We'll go under it. We'll grab some blue and we'll multiply. And it's going to be too dark, but we'll push it back. This will help us see what we're doing. Light's been hitting here. Light's been hitting there. No light down here. This is just, but maybe the light's been hitting here. And maybe a bit here. For the cast shadows. And we might even put a cast shadow there. Then we'll push that back so it's not too intrusive, but it's there. Okay. Might give them a little bit of superfluous detail. I've got a good brush that I like to use for this. It is just a bunch of lines. This, and it just does that. But I find it really good for sort of robes and just gives it a little bit of detail, especially. You might be thinking, you can't even see what you're doing, Matt, but I'm going to dodge tool and burn it to pop certain areas. And it feels almost a little like a gold trim. So take the dodge, you might just hit it there, get a bit of that, maybe a bit there. Suddenly you've got a little bit of extra detail. That the eye tends to... Did I put any here? Yes. The eye tends to like having. Might even put some on this. So it's not even to be like embroidery, but it can be, I don't know, stylized technique. Hate using the word. But yeah, it can just break up some of those big shapes. That's too much obviously down here, so we might even instead, we can either erase or try a burn tool just to pull it right back. Yeah, the wizard's looking pretty good. Still got to do everything at the back there. Probably bring more green into this mist too. It's looking a little dead and grey, which is good. It's that sort of swamp. Oh, but you can actually see it does some nice things with the colour of the spell. Actually, that might be even worth playing with a bit of red in there. Yellow's pushing it too much. Okay, and then because we're in a swampy swamp, I always like to start to figure out the foreground mist, the ground mist. So there's going to be some mist coming off the ground as well. This big brush, and yeah, you can just push that back. This needs more green. Maybe some more red. Here we go. He's getting pretty close colour-wise, I think. Oops. Now the values, it's very light scene, so at some point what I'll do is, I always do this because I get too light with the scene, I'll just put a hue saturation mask over the top, and if you paint black in here, I think it darkens it all, and then no, it's white. If you paint white. Wait. Which one is it? Oh, I'm in the... Oh no. Oh, I know what I gotta do. I've been silly. I've got to actually change the lightness first, and then I can paint in whatever I paint in black will lighten it, whatever I paint in white will darken it. So yeah, I can start to really play with the mood of the swamp. I might even go this dark, and then the stump will have a light source of its own because it's got the soul jar in it, a glowing source of light. And even I might try capture that outer red glow things have again. But what I want to do is almost have it where it's hitting the mist. Is this going to work? Color dodge. Knock it back. And go from there. Still might even push it. Yeah. And then to make him pop, we're going to give him some red glowy eyes, because that's what people do. And then if you want him to look around, you can play. Where's he looking? Over there, over at the stump, down at his feet. Actually, that's pretty good down there. It's almost like he's or maybe over there at the fireball he's about to cast. No, I quite like down. Let's just keep it. What about up here? Looking up? Nope, looking down. We'll keep that on a layer so we can play, because he can look anywhere. And also to make him a little angry, maybe we just knock this in a bit as well. Okay, I've got him to a good place. I'm probably going to end the stream there. Really appreciate you sticking around and watching. And thanks for the comments too. Appreciate that. And hope to see you guys again. Bye bye.